Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and thanks for stopping by. Filming another video today, and it is about 5:15 in the morning. And so today I wanted to pick up sort of with last week. We talked about best time of day to exercise, and what I think works for most people is to get up and exercise first thing in the morning, get it done, get it moved, that way you can get on with your day and there's way less distractions. But I want to sort of go back to early on in my video series on this channel. I talked about being consistent, then being the number one most important part of the exercise or success in anything you do. You need to be consistent, plus you need to, once you're consistent, you need to apply some effort when you're there. But I wanted to hit more today on the consistency piece, and sort of expand upon that, broaden that concept a bit, and give you some examples. And why I believe consistency is the most important piece to success in any field, whether it be exercise or learning a new hobby, or getting a college degree. But you must be consistent in doing any endeavor. You have got to devote yourself and make small, weekly, daily goals that are action steps that will provide you a framework of being consistent. Okay? So with regard to exercise, you need to develop a plan that will be realistic for you and provide you the consistency that will lead you to your long-term success goals. So I talk a lot about, in some of the earlier videos, about developing a plan so you can be consistent. And to me, the most ideal exercise plan is to exercise strength train. It's, to me, finding a strength training routine that fits your schedule is vital. 2 to 3 days per week to me is optimal, of less than 30 minutes per session. Okay, so 2 to 3 days per week of a basic routine, whether you do a split routine or a total body exercise routine. I would probably start, if you're just new to strength training, start with a total body routine. Where you do a chest press exercise, a pull down exercise, a lunge or a leg press, a calf raise, maybe a bicep curl and a tricep extension. There's 6 exercises. I've talked about that in one of my earlier videos. So strength train 2 days per week. Okay, doing those 6 basic exercises. Maybe two to 3 sets per exercise. So you've got that written out. You've got that mapped in. You're going to do strength train. You're going to strength train on Monday and Friday for those less than 30 minutes, maybe 25 to 30 minutes. Then the other days per week, devote yourself to doing maybe some sort of cardiovascular exercise, or you're going to walk 8 to 10,000 steps per day. Okay, to walk 8 to 10,000 steps, just going to tell you, you're probably going to have to move around. You're probably going to have to plan more time than 30 minutes because most people are pretty sedentary in their jobs. So you're going to need to budget probably a 40 to 45 minute, maybe even an hour walk to meet your 8 to 10,000 step per day goal. Or you can devote 20 to 30 minutes to a higher intensity or a cardiovascular routine. So maybe 3 days per week, you're going to do 20 to 30 minutes of cardiovascular exercise. Again, so we're building the consistency. Okay, so 2 to 3 days per week of strength training, 2 to 3 days per week of cardiovascular exercise. So being consistent, but develop a realistic plan for you. So if you did less than 30 minutes of exercise 5 days per week, we're looking at 2.5 hours of total exercise time. And honestly, you could probably push it back to 20 minutes or even 15 minutes 5 days per week. If you're new to exercise, you've never exercised, set a goal of just doing 15 minutes 5 days per week. Being consistent, okay, is way more important than going in and trying to do really super high levels of effort or even high amounts of exercise when it's not a realistic start to your program. So be consistent. That's the key. And really, if you're just starting out, maybe 3 days of planned exercise may be a great start. Okay? But be consistent. Set some small short-term goals that you're going to exercise, 3 days per week. Perhaps start with that. And then be consistent with that. Once you've met that goal, then maybe up it to 4 and 5 days per week. Again, with a couple days of devoted to strength training, and then a couple days to cardiovascular. So be consistent. Consistent is way more important than effort. One of the things that I see with the clients that I've worked with over the years, they come in, they want to start exercising, they begin a program, and they want to come in and exercise at super high volumes, numbers of sets, 30, 40 sets in an exercise session here, and they give high levels of effort, and it's not sustainable. So develop that consistency and that pattern, okay? And then over time, once you've been consistent, your intensity and your volume, everything will progress. But to achieve anything big, you've just got to be consistent. And it's amazing when you've been consistent for a number of weeks, the momentum that you create. And it's almost like I talked last week about getting up early and doing your exercise program. Once you've done that a few weeks, maybe you're getting up early 3 days per week and doing some exercise. You almost look forward to getting up, because that's your time to devote to exercise, okay? So I want to encourage you today, develop a realistic exercise goal. Maybe, like I said, maybe start at 3 days per week and then ramp it up to 5. But I don't see any reason that you need to exercise more than 30 minutes per day. There are some people that do way too much exercise. It's not realistic. And it's not needed, especially if you're doing the right exercises that are going to produce the most efficient, effective results for you. But be realistic with your goals and be consistent and develop that momentum that makes you in 6 months unstoppable. Okay? So if you have questions, leave comments below. You can always email me. I have an online coaching program where I'll help you set up a program that's realistic for you and will set you up for long-term success. Exercise and health is really a long-term plan. I don't want you to achieve your fitness goals in 6 months. I want you to be exercising throughout your life, because exercise is one of the keys to long-term health and wellness. So that's it for today. Talk to you soon.